Hey guys, my name is Rez Unleashed, coming at you unfiltered, unscripted, to talk about something I asked you guys yesterday, and that was a poll, and I wanted to know your guys' opinion on if you thought Shin Megami Tensei V is Game of the Year material. I love those polls, I love seeing your guys' opinions, absolutely love it, love interacting with you. I read basically every comment, sometimes I forget to like them and whatnot, but I absolutely love doing it. And one thing that really made me want to make this video is a lot of you guys, while you did admit you think that Shin Megami Tensei V is Game of the Year material, you didn't believe that it could win. And here I am to talk to you today about that. You see, while I do play Shin Megami Tensei, while I do like Atlas, I like video games in general. And I study video games, and I studied video games at university. I wanted to be in the games industry, but that kind of backfired because there's a bunch of things wrong with the game industry. And yeah, I'm not going to go into detail about that, but I really like watching development awards and stuff like that, right? So the Game of the Year is a really big thing to me because I like predicting what will be nominated for Game of the Year. And this year, we're actually not seeing a lot of AAA titles being released. I know, crazy, right? But it's true. We're not really seeing any major new titles because of COVID-19. It's being rampant through a lot of countries. It's still going through Japan. It's going through Australia, and I bloody hate that. But yeah, COVID-19 is affecting the release of a lot of games that were supposed to come out this year. And in fact, they're coming out next year. I'm on the Wikipedia page for 2021 video games because it has a nice list seeing what games are coming out this year that have been confirmed to come out this year or predicted to by the companies themselves, not like speculation from fans, right? So I believe, before we get into this, I believe that Shin Megami Tensei V can win Game of the Year. It absolutely can. There is nothing stopping it. Not even it being niche. If it's going to be like Atlas's previous titles, and they've kind of been on fire at the moment, not gonna lie, they've released hit after hit. So if Shin Megami Tensei V is on that train, I think it can be nominated for Game of the Year. Why? Well, I've already explained to you that there's not many huge AAA titles being released, and the other thing is that usually the Game of the Year doesn't include remasters or remakes at all. So that's what's mostly coming out this year. So we've got like Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne. We had the Mass Effect Legendary Edition. There's a bunch of others that I can't think of off the top of my head, but we'll take a look at it. So right off the bat, the first thing we have is Hitman 3. Now, if we look at Hitman 3, we can see that it kind of did alright. Like, yeah, like I mean, Metacritic-wise, it did okay. It's not like the bestest, but like it'll be there. It's one of those games that will probably be nominated because of, you know, it did pretty well, but it's not like the best. Now we get this game, which is the next kind of big thing that released, but you know, I can't say it. Disgaea? I haven't played this series, I'm sorry, but like, this 74 out of 100 is not going to get a Game of the Year, so we can skip that. So, Yakuza Remastered, like, that's ReZeroed. I don't think, like, any anime property is going to win Game of the Year in the West at all. We've got YSIX. And this game, it did alright. It's not going to probably be nominated. It might be nominated for other minor awards, but not Game of the Year. So, I am sad about Werewolf the Apocalypse. I can't buy it physically in Australia. It never released physically in this country. Apparently it's bad, but I still want to play it because it has werewolves in it. Neo 2 Remastered, they can't unless they forego that rule and use remasters in their nominations for Game of the Year, which is absolutely garbage. We have Persona 5 Strikers. They do take into account that it did release in the West this year. They take that into account, and it didn't do that badly. The PC port did a little bit worse, so it might be, but like I'm not sure. But it might be. So Yakuza Like a Dragon released last year, and that's just a port. Because it's a port, it won't be nominated for Game of the Year. We can see a lot of these games are kind of not the absolute mainstream of mainstream. Crash Bandicoot 4 released last year. Undertale. I didn't know that. So as you can see, we aren't really looking at much. Balan Wonderland was a failure. And we can't really find more because we've got a lot of these re-releases coming out. Resident Evil 7 Biohazard re-release. Pretty sure, yeah, 2005. Oddworld Soulstorm. I see. Okay, no. I forgot that one released this year, honestly. Judgment. Nier Replicant is a re-release. It honestly might be. I don't know how different this version is, but I don't know. I don't know. But I assume that it wouldn't be because it's a re-release. This one is the one that sticks out to me the most. Resident Evil 7, lol. Resident Evil 8. That's the game that basically a lot of people were talking about this year. Resident Evil 8. It did pretty well. Hitman 3. It's kind of on the same vein as Hitman 3, so we haven't really had like a game that's absolutely like Breath of the Wild flawless. Like, oh my god, it's Hades. If they did allow re-releases to be nominated, I personally think that Mass Effect Legendary Edition would win. Because Mass Effect has already won Game of the Year. Mass Effect 2 and 3, I believe, have already won Game of the Year. So it's just a good game that a lot of people like. So we've got nothing really. Got the new Miitopia. I don't think that will be nominated for Game of the Year. Let's see how it did. Well, we've got the 3DS things kind of mixed in there. Biomutant, I know that didn't do too well. It had a lot of advertising behind it, but a lot of people just ended up kind of like being on it. So we can count out Biomutant. And I know a lot of people have been talking about Ghost and Goblins Resurrection, but it's... Is it a re-release? Is like a remaster? Or is it just like a new game? Okay, it's a new game. But like these, even though people have been talking about it, yeah, it's pretty good. But like, I don't think that's enough, right? I don't think that's enough. So here we go. I'm pretty sure Chivalry 2 is a re-release, yep. But no? It's based on something. Oh, it's the sequel. Okay, let's take a look at Chivalry 2. Oh! Okay, it's not terrible. Generally favorable, so that might be something that we can see in there. We've got re-releases of No More Heroes. We've got Ratchet and Clank. Ratchet and Clank is actually pretty good. I forgot about Ratchet and Clank. I'm not sure how well this game did. It did pretty well. So we could see it here. And we've got a port. That's a new game that came out this year. Oh no, oh dear, So, Warriors 5 just came out, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure, yeah, that's not gonna win Game of the Year, unfortunately, So here we go, we've got The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD. We're hitting into this month. Neo: The World Ends With You. I haven't seen the reviews for it. I don't want to know about the story. The game's being shipped to me. There's no reception at the moment. I think that Neo: The World Ends With You might be one of them. So we'll leave that up there. And we can look down and we can see that we haven't got. We've got Boulder coming out. Wow. What's Boulder? Whoa. It looks like Studio Ghibli. Oh. Lol. I got it right. Woo! So... these are a lot of ports. Lost Judgment might be one of them, honestly. Don't know yet. Judgment was pretty good. Far Cry 6 might be Game of the Year. I'm pretty sure that's a port. No, it's... I thought that was already a 20... Oh, it's 2041. Wow. Battlefield. I don't think Battlefield will win it, but here we go. And then we've got Just Dance 2022. Oh my god. So the next big thing is Shin Megami Tensei V. Out of these things, right? The next big thing is SMT Fight. Thanks, Doggo, for barking in the background. And we've got Dying Light 2. Right? So we have not many games that could contribute to a nomination Game of the Year. Dying Light 2, I'm predicting because Dying Light 1 was really good. Shin Megami Tensei V, obviously I know Shin Megami Tensei V. Persona, blah. Far Cry's done well, but I think the last one wasn't that great, so it might not be. I'm pretty sure Battlefield is like average. Lost Judgment, people are liking Yakuza. I like Judgment. So it could be Neo The World Ends With You. The World Ends With You was like huge. And this game is basically practically sold out in Australia and it's only been out for like 2 days. So you got that. Chivalry 2, it kind of looked like it did alright, but actually, now that I think about it, if we're comparing it to the other games, I had to like remove it. Resident Evil 8, a lot of people like Resident Evil 8 and the giant lady in Resident Evil 8. I never stopped hearing about it. Persona 5 Strikers, I actually have to remove P5S from it because I don't think it'll win. Ratchet & Clank might win. It seems like it did really well. I really want to play it. And Hitman 3. So, we've already removed 2 from the list. And Shin Megami Tensei 5, if it is on the same vein as Persona 5, it will most likely be popular enough to the fan base and, like, the world in general. That's what I mean, the world. For it to be voted. Because the Game of the Year awards are nominated by the panel, but ultimately are decided by people who vote. So, of course, Breath of the Wild won in 2017 over Persona 5. A lot more people like The Legend of Zelda. But, in saying that, if there is enough love for Shin Megami Tensei V, just like there was Persona, I think it can beat games like Dying Light and Resident Evil. Especially when Resident Evil might not live up to the expectations of Shin Megami Tensei V, right? I guess it's the score of Shin Megami Tensei V. So, if you take all of these games into account, Shin Megami Tensei V can definitely win Game of the Year in multiple aspects and for multiple things. It just has to meet the expectations that we have of the game. If we are graced by Atlas with a game that is just as good as Persona 5, there is no way or no reason that this game can't be Game of the Year. Even if Far Cry 6, Battlefield 2042, Dying Light 2, like Hitman 3. Like, Hitman 3 came out at the start of the year. People might have forgotten about it, you know? And that's another thing as well. Shin Megami Tensei 5 will be fresh. Now, you might be thinking, well, Resident, what about Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl? Well, they're re-releases, they're remakes. And I have yet to see a remake win Game of the Year, so I don't think Pokemon's gonna get nominated at all. It might be, like, Best Re-Release, Best Remaster, like, something like that. But if I was going to say Best Re-Release or Remaster, it would definitely go to Mass Effect. There's, like, no question there at all. For Mass Effect, it's just too popular and too high quality to lose to Pokemon unless it gets paid out, of course. there's always paying out. But Game of the Year, at least in terms of the Game Awards, is literally voted by people. So, with that being said, we can see this game winning Game of the Year. I hope this excites you. It excites me. And if you give up on it, and if you don't believe in it, well, it's not going to win, right? But if it comes out and it's just as good as we think it is, definitely get on that hype train. Definitely vote for that shit, because Shin Megami Tensei V can win Game of the Year. So, thanks everybody for watching me rant about Shin Megami Tensei V being able to win Game of the Year. It was great talking with you all, and I hope you liked this discussion. It was fun. I like talking about these kind of things. Let me know if you liked hearing me talk about these kind of things, and with that all being said and done, my name is Resin Unleashed, the resident who talked about Shin Megami Tensei V being Game of the Year, and saying it can be Game of the Year. It can. Don't you worry, guys. It can. I'm just like so hyped that it can be. Ooh. And unleashing that into the world, and I'll catch you all next time.